Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chew News. As always, I'm your host, D Brady. With me is my co-host,
Lovely makeup for once in her life, Teichichu.
and on today's episode, we're going to be going over some raid news, as always, some merch news, some potential Pokemon Presents news, as well as the August Go Community Day. And then we're going to get into our discussion question, silly little question, and then do a quick wrap up. So let's get into it. First things first, we are going into our second week of Rillaboom raids. Now, I said last week that I would be prepping Iron Hands, but turned out he was not the best for the raid. I built a Corviknight within 20 minutes that was easily compatible and took down the raid. So if you can, like, look up other builds aside from fighting types, because acrobatics hurts like nothing else. But like I said, this is the second week of Rillaboom raids, so we are looking forward to farming any of those other items that dropped, as well as looking at the end of the week what we could be seeing for our next 7-star raid, because after this, we really don't know. We truly do not know. It could be the Mewtwo raids that were in the data leak, or something completely new. Maybe some additional starters, that would be fantastic, but who knows? Until then, I'm going to throw it on over to Tay for some merch news.
Whoa, that's me. I'm Tay. Another week, another disappointment. The sleeping Pokemon plushes that I've been hoping to get, it's Cubone, Slowpoke, Pikachu, and Chikorita are still not released. But instead they did other little cute plushes that I did not get any of because I was thoroughly disappointed. They have released new comfy cuddler plushes. They look soft, they're cute. Random lot of Pokemon, I might say. And they're all retailing for $12.99. They are about, let me look at the dimensions. They are 4.7 inches by 7.3 inches by 3.2 inches, which is not super big. The fabric that they look like is it looks pretty soft. It's cute. I don't mind it. I'm just disappointed it's not exactly what I wanted. Moving on to what Pokemon they actually are. We have Jirachi, Oshawott, Fido, Rockruff, Jigglypuff, Pawmi, and Bulbasaur. Yep, that sure is a hag
Excited
tag
for
of
two of
Pokemon.
those. I'm excited for two of those.
I
Jirachi and Palmy, because both of those are adorable, and then Jirachi is my favorite mythical.
I also like, and they're all Pokemon that look like they're laying down. I also really like Jigglypuff. Um, but yeah, and there's also a Pokemon trading card Trick or Trade booster bundle pack for $20, which, people like grabbing those for if they want to give it to the kiddies for Halloween, even though it's July. Listen, I'm a Halloween girly.
Gotta start early.
Don't get me wrong, I get it. But this is Pokemon we're talking about, so it's a little weird. I would expect these to come out with the rest of their Pokemon Halloween line. But who am I but a simple little Chew Newser? We also today, in more disappointment, got there's a Pokemon Moves 2024 wall calendar retailing for $15.99. And Detective Pikachu Returns. You can pre-order that on the Pokemon Center website for $59.99. When is that coming out? Early October 2023, and you get to solve mysteries with the personality-packed Detective Pikachu once more. Unravel a series of mysteries across Rhyme City with a tough-talking, coffee-loving Pikachu who loves to call himself a great detective. And that is why Pokemon should hire me.
I know, Detective Pikachu definitely has, like, a following that some people really love it, some people really hate it. I personally had never played Detective Pikachu.
Me either.
I may. Who knows?
Movie was
But
good.
that is definitely interesting. So, also, we got announced what the next Pokemon Go Community Day will be, and it will be Faroki, and it will be from August 13th to the end of August 13th. I don't know why I was saying that it was multiple days, but it'll be on August 13th, normal time, 2 to 5 p.m. your time. But you'll be able to evolve Brokey into Greninja and have it know the charged attack Hydro Cannon, as all the water starters do when they're showcased in the community day. Personally, I don't think that it's that great. Hydro Cannon is fine, but just it's got better other attacks. You also have increased chances to find a shiny. Now, this past weekend was the Poliwag Community Day, and the shiny gods were not very happy for me, and they did not smile upon me because I only found one shiny.
Boo.
And normally on community days, I like to catch multiple shinies so I can have an entire shiny line.
Boo.
But I got it and evolved it into a shiny Politoed. Because out of Poliwrath and Politoed, Politoed is my favorite.
Politoed's cuter.
Politoed is cuter. And that'll also be alluding to our discussion question coming up.
How exciting.
So, hey, do we have any other Unite news or whatnot?
I got nothing. Unite exists. I haven't really been playing it. There's been some drama in the Unite community that I really haven't super been following, if I'm being quite honest with you, because a lot of it confuses me. And with Worlds coming up, I know that there's a lot of different controversies of certain players playing. And I guess what I would just like to say in this little news portion of it is currently one Pokemon Unite contender, who I believe is playing in World, may or may not be playing in Worlds. I guess they were liking some content that was stating that trans women are men, and they were liking tweets and stuff of that sort. This is all alleged. And so I guess I just there's like a whole, like, they didn't say it themselves, but they were liking things. That is what is alleged
That
right
basically
now.
equates to them saying it.
Correct. And so right now that's kind of what's going on in the Unite community. I don't know what's going to go on beyond that. But that's just kind of drama that's occurring, and I just want to put out there for the people, whoever may watch, we are a safe space for both the LGBTQ community, the trans community, any minority community, really. We are accepting. This is a safe space, and behavior like that will not be tolerated. And it's just sad to see that happening in the Pokemon community, which is a community that I think is in video game franchises is probably one of the most diverse when it comes
I think so
to
too.
minority groups. And so yeah, that's just wanted to touch on that. I'm not, and everything is alleged. I'm not saying things happen. Everything was in a Discord thing. I'm not as invested as to I'm gonna get all the receipts and blah 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 blah. It's something that I saw, and I just want to put that out there because I think it's an important message that needs to be said.
It is. Thank you, Tay. Thank you. Yes, we are a safe space. Anyone who comes in trying to bash the trans community, the queer community, any minority community, you will be blocked. You will not be welcome here. Not be welcome here, because we want to be a safe space for people who don't have a lot of those.
Exactly. And we will continue to advocate for those groups.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, that's all I got.
And moving on to other news, in Pokemon Worlds, it's theorized that there will be a Pokemon Presents coming very soon, potentially either before, during, or after Worlds, either during their opening or closing ceremonies or just sometime during Worlds. But there has been a data leak that says that a Pokemon Presents is coming here soon. I have not found an official date, but that's why I'm thinking maybe sometime during Worlds, just because that's the next major event for the company. But definitely keep your eyes peeled out for that. So hopefully we get a little bit more information on the new Scarlet and Violet DLCs. That's what I would be super interested in, as well as just other Pokemon news, such as like different games and stuff. Maybe more information on sleep. Maybe we'll get our first Pokemon sleep event.
I don't know how it would make sure you go to bed. I don't know how we,
I don't either.
but hopefully we'll see.
Oh, we'll see. Fingers crossed. But when we come back, we will hop into the discussion slash opinions portion of the episode.
Yeah.
And welcome back, everybody. So, one thing that I was talking with Tay about, I think either last week or a week before, in watching the Pokemon anime, one thing that really kind of annoyed me, which not a lot of things annoy me about the Pokemon anime because it's one of my favorite things of the Pokemon franchise, but just how many of Ash's companions don't have full teams of six, or they have more than six Pokemon, but they don't carry more than maybe four max. Like it's kind of frustrating because the only one of his companions that ever really had six Pokemon on them was Dawn. Like that and out of all the companions that Ash had, that really doesn't make sense.
Uh-huh.
So I thought we should fix that. I thought we should fix that. And now what we're going off of is basically by the end of the series, we feel like they should have had at least six Pokemon by now. If they have more than six Pokemon, at least my criteria, I'm just going to train some of them up because it also didn't make sense if Ash was the only one training, or if he was training with everyone that his companions' Pokemon wouldn't get experience. So we're going to start with the OG traveling companions of Brock and Misty.
Whoa.
Now, Brock, we're going to start with Brock just because first gym leader, for technically second traveling companion because Misty was the very first. After the whole bike incident.
The bike
That even
incident of
after
1984.
the bike incident of 1997. And he honestly never paid her back for it. Like even though she got a new bike, yes, but he technically never gave her a new bike.
Shady.
And I guess now it's too late. But we'll start with Brock and everything. So Brock, like said, by the end of his traveling journey, he had more than six Pokemon, but he never carried more than three or four. So I'm just gonna create a list of Pokemon that I think he should have had and train some of them up. First, his Steelix, keeping the Steelix obviously because that's his ace. But I think it should have evolved in Johto whenever the Steel type got introduced. Like just make things a little bit more interesting. Just also show Brock's growth.
That's true.
Secondly, yeah, I mean it makes sense. Secondly, his Marshtomp should have evolved into Swampert. It took way too long for it to evolve from a Mudkip to a Marshtomp. And by the end of the series, by the end of Hoenn, all three Hoenn starters that were on their respective teams should have been fully evolved. Like Ash had Sceptile, May had Blaziken, Brock should have had Swampert. And then next, he also should have kept his Ludicolo. He should have kept his Ludicolo on his team because Ludicolo was a riot and a half.
That's your boy Ludicolo.
And actually very strong. And also very strong. Next, Sudowoodo, just to keep with this rock theme.
He rocks.
Definitely should have kept. He rocks. He rocks. And his Sudowoodo was actually kind of strong towards the end. Blissey, definitely. Just because he's now a doctor, so he'll need a Blissey or something.
That makes sense.
He also he had a Comfey, but Blissey just made more sense because he's been raising it since a Happiny. And then I went ahead and evolved his Krogunk into Toxicroak. Just because I felt like his Krogunk was strong enough, it should have been a Toxicroak. And also I can just imagine like when Brock swoons over girls, like instead of the normal jab, it's stab.
D wants Brock to die.
I want Brock to stop being
to suffer.
Like I want Brock to stop being him because it got creepy after a while.
Shady.
So what's your Brock team?
My team's kind of similar. I do like the Steelix because Onyx has always been a staple for Brock, and I feel like you should go through into Steelix. I think that's good. Ludicolo, again, also agree with. I think that Brock is a silly little guy, and I think Ludicolo is also a silly little guy. So I 100% agree with that. I also agree with Sudowoodo because I feel like with Bonsly, um, he cared for that when it was a baby as well. And I feel like there's just an emotional attachment with Sudowoodo. And he's also a silly little guy even then, you know? So you
Mhm.
can't really argue with that. Blissey, again, 100% yes, because it's a breeding Pokemon. And I think that he wanted to become a breeder.
Yeah,
So
he wanted to become a breeder before he became a doctor.
exactly. So I think that it's helpful with Pokemon for healing. Um, the place where I do disagree though is I would have evolved Geodude into Golem
Oh, okay.
because Geodude was also a big staple, and I feel like
Yeah.
I like Golem. I think Golem's underrated. Um, and then
Yeah.
I was kind of debating between evolving Krogunk or giving him a whole new random Pokemon of Shuckle because I feel like Shuckle's also
Why?
hey, watch it. Shuckle's also a silly little guy, and he's still rock.
True.
So it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like Shuckle's trying to get everyone together, and I just feel like it would be a good companion for Ludicolo. I feel like. Don't ask me why,
Yeah.
but I like Shuckle a lot.
My honorable mentions would have been one of the Hoenn fossils, just because I felt like he could have worked with either a Cradilly or an Armaldo.
Sure,
It would have been a nice challenge for him.
a nice
And
challenge. This
then
man's always has a challenge.
bringing back his Vulpix. I know he gave it back to Susie,
Yeah.
but personally, I think he worked better with Vulpix than she did.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe if you wanted to evolve it into Ninetales, personally, I'm more with at least the Cantonian version.
Mhm.
I'm more Vulpix over Ninetales.
Mhm.
But that is our Brock comparisons, like teams fleshed out. Let us know down below who you would put on Brock's team if you wanted to add any random Pokemon or train up some of his Pokemon. Let us know. Now, moving on to Misty. Now, Misty is another one where by the end of this series, she had more than 6 Pokemon.
Mhm.
So, again, just adding some Pokemon to her team and fleshing them out. Starting things off, like I started off Brock with his ace, I'm going to start off with Misty's ace of Gyarados. Personally, I think that she should have gotten an on-screen redemption, and I know she technically did with Pokemon Chronicles. She got the on-screen redemption with Gyarados,
She also did
showing all
Sun
that.
and
But
Moon, I thought.
she brought him into Sun and Moon, yes,
Mhm.
but like it was shown that she got over her fear of Gyarados and added him to her team in Hoenn
Mhm.
when she said goodbye to Togepi.
Sad.
Very sad. But I think it should have happened probably sometime either in Kanto or Johto series,
Hmm.
like her getting over her fear of Gyarados and adding it to her team, because then I think she could have won the World Cup competition,
Sounds like
as
there's
she
some
should have.
there's some anger behind that answer.
A little bit, because she what like the World Cup competition is my favorite arc in the Johto series, and Misty I feel should have won that.
Well, I'm entitled
I
to
feel
my
that she really should have
opinion.
won that. I'm entitled to my opinion. Next, I know I evolved Brock's Krogunk, but I am not going to evolve her Psyduck because I feel like it's too iconic to her. Although she said in Orange Islands that Golduck is her favorite Pokemon,
Suck it up,
I
Buttercup.
think that has since been replaced by Gyarados because Gyarados is now her ace. And then next, I was gonna evolve her Azurill that she's carrying around into an Azumarill, but I'm gonna keep Corsola on the team just because Corsola has become pretty much a staple of her team. So might as well keep her a staple. And then nextly, one thing that like how I would have evolved Brock's Onyx into Steelix into in the Johto series, I would have evolved her Horsey a lot sooner in Kanto into Seadra. And then I feel like it would have been really cool to have evolved it into Kingdra in Johto just to show off the new evolution.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that would have required them to basically always camp by water. Because if they wanted to bring Horsey out, they would have had to have her in water.
That's true.
But that still would have been cooler. Even like by the end of this series, be like, oh hey, look, I evolved my Horsey all the way up to Kingdra. Like, just look at how strong of a gym leader I am now.
Look at me go.
Look at me go. And then next, I'm gonna bring back her Politoed because her Politoed was also very much a staple in her Johto team. He's just a happy-go-lucky guy that can also throw down if needed.
Me? Yes.
Yes. Yes. And then lastly, at the end of the series, whenever she rejoined Ash for that 11 arc mini episode, she caught a Clauncher that she then did kind of a similar thing with Ash, but they did with Totodile, had a battle to see who would win. Except this time, Misty won. Um, so I would evolve her Clauncher into Clowitzer,
Clouds.
just because, again, she's a strong trainer. She can train out something fast, especially to evolve. And I think Pikachu, yep, Pikachu's making an appearance.
I love her.
Hey, sweetie. Yeah, so that's my Misty team of Gyarados, Psyduck, Corsola, Kingdra, Clowitzer, and Politoed.
Lovely. To start off, for me, I'm gonna agree with you wholeheartedly with keeping Psyduck as Psyduck. Because Psyduck should remain Psyduck, and Psyduck should remain by Misty Duck.
Duck.
So, I 100% agree with Psyduck. I agree with Gyarados, because I think Gyarados is a really good mon for her. I would evolve Azurill into Azumarill, because I feel like that's just Azumarill kind of exudes Misty, where it's like sassy and like will throw down if needed. I would get Togetic back. Get it back into Togekiss because I just feel like that's Misty. You know, that was like such a big part of Misty was raising Togepi. So I would have liked to see Togetic return and turn into Togekiss. I also think, did I say Politoed already?
No, you haven't.
Then Politoed, because Politoed's a silly little guy. And I'm gonna get another one of her actual staples, which is Starmie.
Starmie was good. She used Staryu more than Starmie.
I know, I would evolve the Staryu and use that Starmie.
It made no sense why she had both a Staryu and a Starmie.
I don't know. I have no idea. I like Staryu a lot, and I like Starmie, I get it. But I feel like she should have one of them. So I'm choosing the stronger of the two.
Yeah. So let us know down below who you would put on Misty's team, or what you think Misty should have by the end of the series, or what she should have had by the end of the series.
True.
When we come back, it'll be everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question. And now it is time for everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question. In honor, Tay put her hair in a silly fashion.
As me, silly.
Tay, what is our silly little question?
Our silly little question is Tay wanted two girls to fight. Hi, Pikachu. T. That threw me off. I wanted two girly. I wanted two girly Pokemon to fight again. And I wanted it to be flowers, because why the heck not? And so, who's going to win in a fight? Serena, the Queen of Legs, or Eldegoss? Go ahead, tell me why Serena.
No, Tay, you said you would start this off.
Oh, I can. I'm okay with that. Here's the thing, right? You would think Serena, because Serena's got these powered legs. She's Miss Thunder Thighs, and you don't want to heck with her. Because if you do, she will choke you with her thighs, and that's okay. But with Eldegoss, I feel like Eldegoss has such a fluffy head. Like, realistically, Eldegoss's head is like this big, and the rest of her is like this big. I feel like her head is going to be so hard to miss in all, like, the white flowery petal type ordeal that's in her head. And I feel like Serena, when she tries to kick her, she's just going to miss. And then, after she misses, Eldegoss has got a heck of a headbutt. Eldegoss is also very tanky, especially in Unite. She's more tanky than you think. And heals. And that's kind of what I'm going off of. And I feel like Serena's got power, but Eldegoss has got smarts. And so Serena's going to come at her going, kick, 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 kick. And Eldegoss is going to go, no! Just like that. Just, see? I am Eldegoss. And I feel like Serena can try, and I think it'll be a close battle. But Eldegoss has 100% got my vote.
Okay, after that, I'm clearly Team Serena. With that, I think because she's Miss Legs for Days, Miss Naomi Smalls, if you will. Funnily enough, I named mine Katya just because Serena is spelled Tsar, like the Russian Tsar, and splits, yes. But I'm saying Serena because she's got those powerful legs. She knows how to kick something even if it's tanky and small. Like, do you know how many kicking moves she learns? A lot. She learns a lot of kicking moves. The only kicking move I don't think she learns, it wouldn't make sense for her to learn, Blaze Kick.
Keep going. I'm going to look something up as rebuttal.
But she can learn a lot of kicking moves, so she's trained in her legs. Like, she knows she can hit the smallest thing. So yes, if she misses once, it just gets the fluff, the cotton out of the way, enough for her to be like, yeet.
Nah, I don't think so. I feel like Eldegoss is too small, too powerful in the mind.
I don't think so.
She's gonna headbutt for days. She's gonna confuse you.
I don't think so. I think Serena's taking this.
Nah, Serena's good. Don't get me wrong, but Eldegoss got that elder mind.
Well, let us know down in the comments whose team you're on. Are you Team Eldegoss or are you Team? I was about to say Team Katya. Are you Team Eldegoss or are you Team Serena?
I'm Team Katya.
I am forever Team Katya. Are you Team Eldegoss or are you Team Serena? Let us know and tell us why you were on that team. When we come back, we're going to do a quick wrap up. Well, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Chew News. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. On Twitter, we are at ShoeNews1. Personally, I am at D Brady EW21. Tay?
I'm at 2227.
Awesome. And before we go, we're going to do a quick wrap up, reminding everyone that the second week of Rillaboom raids are happening this weekend, as well as August 13th is the next Pokemon Go Community Day. It will feature Froakie, increased shiny rate, and the chance to evolve your Greninja into one that knows Hydro Cannon. Hey, what about some merch?
Merch, still sad, no Sleepy plush, but it okay, cause comfy cuddlers and pre-orders of Detective Pikachu 2 and a calendar.
Whoa. Whoa. Well, remember, next time you choose your news, choose.
Chew News.
Bye, everybody.